the reason why that's so interesting to me that the left is saying, well, just because it's legal doesn't make it okay, right? What they're telling you is...
What the fuck? That's exactly what that means.
Now, with marks roundly refuted more times than there are grains of sand on a beach.
Nice.
Moving into the culture corner, we're talking Leo DiCaprio and his, I believe it's now 19-year-old girlfriend.
Woo!
I want to say, I'm pretty sure she's a model.
How old is he?
I think she's from Israel or something like that.
40, 50?
47, I think.
Nice.
So,
nice.
So yeah. Now, this story, I'm going to let David start this story out and kind of give you his thoughts on this whole thing, because I have a completely different tangent to go off with it. But I want David to fill you in on what he thinks about Leo and his dating escapades first.
First of all, it's sex.
Are we in support of Leo, or are we not? Not we, the royal we, as in you. Are we supporting Leo, or we think this is kind of unseemly?
I'm sorry, am I supposed to tell another human being what they can or can't do sexually with their lives? Because I don't know. I've had it shoved down my throat more often than I can count, and a hell of a lot more than I could stand, that I can't tell anybody else what they can and can't do with their bodies at any given time, or the realities that they're living in at any given time. And God bless him if he can still pull 19-year-old ass, not just like a fat like little chunkers that he's paying for her college. Like, he's pulling a supermodel each. She wasn't even alive when he was like starting his career. She might not have even been alive. She might not have even been alive during The Revenant, which is what he won the Oscar for. She might have been. She was in middle school.
The Revenant is not
19 years old, bro. She might have been in middle school.
Well, The Revenant's like 6 years old. Not that old of a movie.
I don't think, is it? Okay, well, she hadn't graduated high school yet. I can guarantee you that.
That's true. That is true.
Well, so I had to move back, but my fortress still stands. All I'm saying is that retreat, run away. Can't risk another frontal assault. That rabbit's dynamite. Anyway, my point being is, like, why is it anyone's business what Leo decides to do with his body at any given time, with whose other willing participant in what he does with his said body? And you know what? The man sticks to his principles. He's got a legitimate modus operandi. You're cool until you're 25. And you know what? I think he's doing them a favor. Because think about all these chicks that live this party life. You don't want to, well, let's go to, we're fast forwarding here. Epstein. All these women are out here on the documentary saying, he stole my childhood, he stole my innocence, he did this, that, and the other. Well, what he did is he offered you a portion of life that you wouldn't have had any opportunity to get to on your own. And now you've thrown away your future for that life. Well, what I would say Leo's doing is he's offering them a catch and release program. To be honest with you, you get to enjoy this life until you're 25. And then when you're 25, you get to go out there, you get to go back to Kansas, you get to go back to Wisconsin, you get to go back to Ohio, wherever the fuck you're from. Say, I was a model until I was 20. I dated Leo DiCaprio. He probably gave me a nice compensation when I left. And then I went home and I lived a normal life. That's what I would say. I'd say Leo's a good guy in this episode. I'd say that, or option B, that's what the fuck he likes. And either one is the correct answer, because there's no wrong answer here. I'm sorry, is she below 18? Is it statutory? Is it 19. Illegal for him to do that? Okay, cool. No. Is she a willing participant? Seems like it. Seems like every chick he's ever been with is a willing participant. I don't see what's wrong here. But of course, everybody, well, he's a man and he shouldn't be. Well, if fucking Kate Beckinsale was dating, who's that Beetlejuice-looking motherfucker?
Pete Davidson.
How old was Pete Davidson? 20?
I don't remember.
Ish at the time. She was close to 50-ish at the time. No one batted a fucking eye. They're like, good for you, Kate. You still look great. And people are like, hey, Pete, nice job, dude. Like, no one had a problem with that. But when it's the opposite way, it's to disgusting. How dare he? She doesn't even know what she's doing. She's a supermodel. She's seen a dick before. Can we all calm down? Anyway, I give the counselor the rest of my remaining time.
Okay, well, that's certainly one take on the topic, but I do want to
Take, goddammit.
Kind of the part where David finished is where I wanted to make the point that I wanted to make about it, because what I'm seeing a lot, as you know, as I've said repeatedly on this podcast, for better or worse, probably worse for my mental health, I follow entirely too many leftist pages, meme pages, commentators, etc. So I have a pretty good read on what the people that I disagree with the most think about various topics. And this is one example where I'm seeing all over those pages and commenters saying basically what David said about, oh, how terrible this is, gross, this is da-da-da-da. And then, defenders of Leo will say, what's the big deal? She's legal. That's all that matters, right? Other than that, leave them alone, right? They're two consenting adults. And they are just all up in arms and pearl clutching that somebody would say, well, it doesn't matter if it's legal. It's just kind of icky, right? That's kind of the take. And so the reason why I wanted to focus on that particular direction and focus more on the reaction to the situation, I'm kind of neutral about the whole Leo thing. It doesn't matter to me one way or another. He's, again, like David was saying, he's dating a legal adult, so there's no reason to throw him in a cage. The rest of it is just individual misgivings about what's morally correct or uncomfortable or whatever. But the reason why that's so interesting to me that the left is saying, well, just because it's legal doesn't make it okay, right? What they're telling you is...
That's exactly what that means.
What they're telling you is they have some sort of gut feeling to them, for whatever reason, that it's wrong. And they don't care about the legality. And I thought that was particularly interesting because it is the left, more than any other group of people in society, who always make it synonymous, legality and morality. They're always moralizing about what should be done, right? We should tax the rich. We should do this. We should do that. Everything. There should be a law, right? If there was a catchphrase for the left, it would be this. There should be a law. Insert X. They are always in their mind and their philosophy in terms of what they want to see reflected in policy. It's always morality equals legality. Right? This is why they're so obsessed with taking over the state and making the state basically impose their will on the other half of society and calling the other half fascists and bigots and racists and Nazis if they don't fall in line, is because, again, they look at the state as the hammer with which we can pound down all the nails in society. So it's funny for that group that always analogizes between legality and morality to, in this instance, be like, well, the legality shouldn't impact the morality. These are two different things. And so what I would say to you, dear leftist, if you're first time at this podcast, is it sucks, doesn't it? It sucks to see your ideology turned so eloquently back on you, and you're looking at a mirror and seeing that all of the things that you moralize about and say, well, we should make this legal and that illegal and all of this kind of stuff that you do to everybody else in every other aspect of life doesn't really hold a whole lot of weight when somebody replies to you, well, it's legal. The law says she's an adult, so what are you bitching about? Right? So I would just caution you when you apply that to every other aspect of life, that you want to use the state to impose your will on everybody else. I want to caution you to politely and with all due disrespect to go fuck yourself.